This little bonus tip will show you how to get a little more out of your Photoshop, and that is if you have a text layer that you want to deal with, you can do some more. So this is actually Whack News Wednesday. So what we're going to do is take the text tool, and I'm going to hide my timeline at this point because I don't actually need it for this part. Really what I'm looking at is just adding some text. So let me not do it that way, but I'll just click here, and I'll type the words Wednesday, and I gotta make that a little bit bigger here. I can't do it that way. We'll drag it up, and I'm not gonna do too much to this for this tutorial's sake, but we'll change the color. Hopefully all things that you remember how to do. So what I might want to do here is have the word Wednesday show up and kind of do some fun stuff. Maybe over this bottom news, because maybe it's not that important to me to have news twice, even though it looks like it says News Wax Wednesday. But the one thing that text has the ability to do is it can have, let me put a stroke around it so we can actually see it, is we can have different styles to simple text layers, and those can be found up here along the top options bar next to the white. There's this little T, and what I can do is change that style. So let's open our timeline back up, and we can see now our new layer, the T layer, which stands for text layer, which has the word Wednesday on it. And you can see it's kind of messed up my timeline a little bit because it's coming really long. So let's bring that back just to get life back in order. And I can use those special styles up top here to do some fun things. So let's say at the end here, I always like to set my endpoint first. When I click the drop down, you notice the drop down of a text layer, like the T for Wednesday, has 4 options, whereas the text for like the word whack, which is actually a graphic, not text, only has 3. And the extra bonus layer is text warp. So if I turn that text warp on, my text warp options are up there next to the white, and I turn that on, and I can say, okay, at this point, text warp, I want you to have a, oh, let's do something crazy, a wave. And you can see it kind of bends a little bit in here, but let's do something a little more dramatic. So I'll wave it a bunch and I'll kind of twist it and flip it. Okay. So I tell it that at this point, at this keyframe, you're going to be all out of whack wave. And then bring it to the beginning of that Wednesday layer. Put a new frame in, a new diamond in, and I say at this point, we're not going to be wave 85, we're going to go maybe the other way. I'll just drag the sliders the other way and say OK. And Photoshop will of course make up the difference in between, and you can see now I sort of get this twisting Wednesday word. You can only do that on layers that are actual text layers, so you can't do that on graphic layers. But anything that has a T here, I can bend and warp and make a little bit crazy. So that's another useful tip for you.